I was driving out of Fairgreen there the other day, between like the two car parks, with the bottom car park and top car park, and it was like a lad, maybe 13 to 15. You know, it's hard to tell. They're kind of goofy looking at that age. I mean, so real.
That's it.
And all his goofy friends were there as well, like at different heights and sizes. You know what the age these lads are, but like maybe 13 to 15. And I'm driving out, and he's like plodding across the road. I'm like, what the fuck is this lad doing? And then he jumps up on the curb, spins around in midair.
On his own?
No,
with his pals.
His big goofy friends were on the curb. He's plodding across in front of my car in traffic, doing the Ronaldo celebration. It's insane how much this is just like God's way into society here.
It's funny because it was like he's been doing that forever, but it overlapped. And as soon as he came back to United, it was like that is very funny that he does that, and it's very easy to imitate. But of course that might be all you United fans have to hold on to. He's making some weird noises about leaving and standards and young players. He hasn't said about leaving, but he did say he's like United should never be below the top three. But I think I vividly remember him in the summer saying United should never not be winning the league. It's been a few months and already his standards have dipped.
I think it's like, because you know, like up until like probably this week or last week, it was like we were saying top three for the title race: City, Chelsea, Liverpool. And everyone else is competing for fourth. So I think he probably meant we should be one. We should be one of the best teams. Yeah. Like we should be one. Like not arrogantly saying we should win every single title. No, but like that we should be outside that top three. I mean now it's over top one. Get that
it's top one and everyone else. Well, apart from Liverpool, are going to be fine. But it seems like everyone else is going to be dropping points left and right.
Well, here's my question to you, Will. Right. Say he leaves end of the season, right? Yeah. You know, time is short. He wants to win, whatever. He leaves. His second stint at United versus Ibrahimovic's stint at United.
Much worse.
Which one's better?
Oh, Ibra is much better.
Oh, I thought you were a flight man, that.
No, not at all, because Ibra...
He won the Europa League and everything.
He won the Europa... Well, he wasn't in the Europa League. He injured himself jumping for a header in the Europa League. He won the League Cup. He did drag him to the League Cup.
He brought him to the dance wheel.
But he scored like 30 goals, but it was that they were shit as well.
Damn, I thought that'd be a good bit. I thought you might try to find me or even hesitate for a second. Immediately, he's been terrible in comparison to that.
I think you underestimated. I don't really like Ronaldo. I don't like Ibra, but I like Ronaldo a lot less.
Damn. Well, there goes that out the window. Let's start the show.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why? Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello everybody and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. The last in-person episode for a while, Will.
And I bet the listeners are saying, thank fuck.
Yeah.
Because it seems anytime we do an in-person one, it's a potential disaster.
Just, I guess, to wrap up that as well, the Christmas episode and one before that.
Which we literally forgot about last time.
Yeah, technical difficulties on that. Not that we were just pretending that didn't happen or hoping you would notice. No. It was very noticeable, obviously.
Yeah.
Again, just...
It's hard. It's hard. Much harder than we thought.
You might think, how hard, lads, is it to sit in a room with two microphones and speak? I mean, first of all, you're probably assuming...
Who do you think you are?
You're assuming we're not idiots.
Yeah.
And we're not idiots, I suppose. We're just kind of careless and a bit lazy. So apologies for the technical difficulties. We weren't trying to ignore that or blow by it. We just... Christmas,
the void,
COVID, a lot going on in our lives, so we forgot. So hopefully this episode will be much better, and definitely episodes in the coming weeks will be totally fine. Like I say,
can't get our heads around the echo things.
The echo thing, I think just the mics are poor.
Yeah, our mics are poor. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So echoes bounce around, and you kind of have to cut out the echoes, which is like an impossible task.
Yeah.
We're doing one mic here, which we've done before, and it's worked. We've done it.
It's worked pretty good. So we're going out on a limb here and say this one's going to be just audio fucking honey.
Yeah, into your ear.
But I mean that depends on the content. And look, looking at the notes we have here, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's swing and miss on a couple of these topics, shall we? Let's get this going. First things first, breaking-ish news as we record. Rafa Benítez.
Yeah, booted. He's gone.
He's done. He's finished. He's out of the fucking league.
Yeah, and unfortunately we called it, but off the pod because we were watching that game.
Before the Norwich Everton game, because what it was fantasy football.
Yeah,
it's very tough to do it.
Impossible.
At the best times, but there's always a team like a Norwich, like a Stoke when they went down that year, who just gets pumped by every team.
Yeah.
So it's always like, listen, get the strikers playing Norwich. This year. And we looked at it, and for some reason we both said that feels like a game they're going to lose, and Rafa's going to get sacked.
Yeah, it was like Newcastle or Norwich or due one.
Yeah.
And this is the team you'd get against. This is the team where this will happen. And we missed the first half, but we did see, I think I saw on Twitter that like a fan had run onto the pitch and tried to make his way from one side of the pitch to the other to attack Benítez. Yeah. So we were like, okay, I think this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're 1-0 down at that point. So we were right. Now look, you have to trust us that we're right off the pod. But I mean, the long and short of it is that they did lose to Norwich 2-1. Norwich scored 2 goals. Well, not really. One was an own goal. Yeah. So this when you look against you, this is what kind of stuff that happens. 2-1. Rafa out. We were watching on Premier Sports. No interview with Rafa Benítez after the game. I think he probably knew what was coming, so there's no need to say anything.
Yeah.
But what they did do on Premier Sports,
insane. They did an episode of the No Nonsense podcast. It felt like.
I think it's an Irish company. It must be an Irish company.
It must be. Because those games weren't on in the UK. Like UK listeners probably like, how are you watching that? Because of the 3:00 ban on TV, so that you go to the games in the UK.
Yeah, it's like from the 1960s. There's legislation there.
And I think it said on Sky, it had like a little bracket for ROI viewers only. So.
Yeah, Premier Sports, it's only shown in Ireland. I'm assuming, for now anyways, it's an Irish company based on what we saw.
I would think so.
Now, presented by our peer and our colleague. One of our own peer.
Podcast colleague.
No.
It's in the world of podcasts.
Well, we don't work together. He's our peer.
Yeah.
Our peer, Owen McDevitt, TV's Owen McDevitt, and also the host of Second Captain's podcast. Mm-hmm. He's presenting on Premier Sport. Good Irishman. Also Damien Delaney, probably the most handsome pundit I've ever seen in my life.
We were blinded by his jawline.
And then Stefan Roach of Puskas Award fame.
The nominee fame.
Well, I said of fame. I didn't say she won. Don't project, Will. Anyway, all Irish cast, which is good to see,
Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
Good to see. And then we only noticed halfway through the footage that the promotion of the game, it was the two managers. And you see this all the time. Two managers and then like the two
best players.
Two high profile players. I got a close inspection. It was Seamus Coleman and Idah-Mania.
Yeah, and then we thought something's up here.
Something's up here. So of course, like the second the game finished, Idah-Mania was on the score sheet. First Premier League goal of the season, by the way.
Yeah.
And
ever.
Of this season ever. I think it's his first season in the Premier League, so I'll give him that. But straight into Idah-Mania. How great was Idah-Mania? And they showed literally
every touch.
Because we watched the game.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe these are just not great highlights, but then the second half of the highlights were all the touches we watched in the second half.
It's the YouTube video you would say if like your team is linked with an obscure player. And like you'd look him up on YouTube, and the last video is like all of his touches from the last game. You watched that, and you're like, didn't learn anything from that because most of them are bad because it's hard to touch them all like that.
Out of context touches.
Yeah. That's what they put on TV.
Idah-Mania skills and tricks 2021, 2022.
And he had a good game too. He was man of the match.
He had a good game. He was man of the match.
But I was thinking, I think he was Premier Sports man of the match. I don't know if he was actually man of the match.
Like the Irish games, best Irish Player of the Day award. But no, listen, great for him. He got interviewed on TV. Definitely the first time he's been interviewed, I'd say, in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But it was great, and they barely talked about Everton.
They barely mentioned Rafa, who was definitely getting sacked.
Yeah, they had like a little kind of a hat tip to Richardson's bicycle kick. Definitely the best goal of the day.
Not mentioned really. Just like that was good.
Yeah, I don't think they even looked for Rafa Benítez to be honest for interview. No, look, we're not having a go. It was really enjoyable to watch.
To be honest, it was what I wanted to see.
It was, what it reminded me of? It's like, and it's bad, and actually, maybe I think I grew as a person watching that because I was watching it, I was thinking, this is, when you watch the World Cup and you watch BBC's coverage of England, and it's all about how great England are, and they're like talking about every English player, what they did, like, oh my god,
talking about Grealish non-stop,
It's really enjoyable, actually.
It's nice when the shoe's on the other foot.
Yeah, I won't get as mad now next time. It's like, well, look, I get it.
If I was an English and watching it, I'd be like, yeah, this is great.
If I was the director of the series, I'd say, get me talking about Idah-Mania. You know, that's what people want to see here. Yeah. That is what, and they knew it's only Irish people watching, so that's what they want to see. Yeah. So, and
like we were laughing at it as it was going on because it got increasingly like it kept going and going and going. Yeah. But then it went to an insane degree at the end.
Yeah.
Where do you want to cover what the
you go for it, man.
So the sign off, McDevitt said to borrow a phrase from Damien Delaney, who must have said this earlier in the day.
Off camera, maybe.
Or half
during the ad break. I won't say on mic.
He looked dead into the camera and he said, "Let Idah-Mania commence."
Just cut. End of.
And then podcast. We looked at each other. Are we going insane?
He scored 1 goal. So yeah, shout out to Premier Sports. Very enjoyable Saturday afternoon.
I'll be watching them from now on.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose the wider picture is Rafa Benítez sacked less than a year in charge. He was June 2021. He signed them.
Because remember Ancelotti said, "I'm here for the long haul. I have a 5-year contract." And then Real Madrid said, "Do you want to sign?" And he said, "Yes." Yeah, immediately. Yeah. So then they got the best person available, Rafa. Yeah. I think we talked about it in the pod, like, that is doomed.
Yeah.
Because the fans hated him already, like day one. And I think he was, like, I thought he was a good manager before he got there.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is bullshit. We don't want him near this club. So that's never going to work.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, I suppose. Was he doomed from the start, or is it a bad run of results that would have got most managers sacked at most clubs, do you think?
Well, he's very low down the table. But I think when the fans are so against you already, like there was that banner, Rafa, get out of our club, which the commentator said that same banner was there last week.
Yeah.
So like that's probably going a while. I think if your player's seeing that, like the first time he does something against you, like maybe you don't play again, you maybe start thinking, yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah, possibly so. But look, he's out now. Frank Lampard incoming.
Yeah.
That's my bet.
Well, the top three is Lampard, Duncan Ferguson, and Rooney and Roberto Martinez.
Rooney's done well at Derby, especially considering all the shit that's going on there.
Yeah, they had a 24-point deduction and they're now in second last. So like they're 8 points off safety, I think.
Yeah, so they're fighting against the light down there. I'd imagine he'll probably stick with Norwood till the end of the season. Yeah. Just because, like I say, it's done in the world of good to be this kind of like. Because it's not Rooney's fault that the club went into receivership. Receivership they went into?
Yeah, I think so.
So if he sticks with them and has like a valiant even defeat, it'll slip like, wow, Rooney is a real fighter of manager. If he leaves just for the end to go to Everton, he'll be like, well, he's just like everyone else.
Yeah, he's the same as them all.
So I think he'll probably stay.
Like even if he goes down, people will be like, what great, I want him. That's the type of manager I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's no lose for him.
Roberto Martinez, never go back.
No, never. We always say that.
That's what they say, never go back. And he wasn't that good when he went there.
No, yeah.
I mean, he fell ass backwards into the Belgium job. I couldn't believe he got that job.
I wonder though, it does seem like the Belgium job is pretty tough as well, because it's like, there's always trouble.
Well, it's expectation to win, basically, because you have likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, Hazard for the last 10 years or so, and they got third place in the World Cup in 2018. Yeah. That's the closest they've come. So, even based on what he's done for Belgium, you'd say he's done alright. But I don't know. I couldn't see Everton even wanting him. I couldn't see him wanting to go back.
Why would you go from Belgium to like a relegation scrap? Unless you're Newcastle.
Unless they're going to pay you loads of money or you're on the way out in Belgium. It doesn't make any sense for him.
And it doesn't make sense for them to pay people lots of money at the moment. They might get relegated.
People are saying, Big Sam, keep you up. Again, he was already there.
Yeah,
they already did that.
And he got relegated last season with West Brom, wasn't it?
His pro record is gone.
It's gone. That's all he had.
So I'm telling you, man, Frank Lampard.
He looks like the best guy.
He's looking good for us. Listen, there's a whole host of managers across the continent. I have no idea who they are. That could come in. I don't know.
I remember Duncan Ferguson was interim. Was it 2 managers ago or 3 managers ago? And he did really well for ages. Yeah. And there was a bit of a clamour for like, make him permanent. Look how well it's going at Man United.
Yeah, give him the job. I think to try and test the method, gives the assistant manager, and it's just kind of like everyone's against us. We're going to do it in spite of me not having any expertise. It doesn't usually last long term.
And it's easy to just be like, prove Rafa wrong.
Yeah, and they're good. I think everything have good players. Like
Richarlison scored a bicycle kick.
Yeah, like the Richarlison, Damari Gray, they would make any of the other
Calvert-Lewin as well.
The bottom 4 teams of say Norwich, Burnley, Newcastle, and
Watford.
They'd make, like a lot of those Everton players would. Maybe they're not paying the best right now. Selling Coutinho, I mean, that is
3 days before a fallout with the manager gets rid of him. 3 days later, you sack the manager.
Yeah.
How can you not see that in the pipeline?
Yeah, Luke Coutinho's manager, whoever you are. And maybe Luke Coutinho's like, no, fuck it, I'm leaving just to show him something.
Yeah.
But I mean, surely someone said to him, give it 3 days. Yeah. Give it to the end of the week. I'm telling you, this guy does not have long.
I've got a good feeling about Norwich.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how Everton do. I think they're too, like, not that they're too big to go down, but I think there's too much quality in that team to go down. To see teams like, I mean, I can't think the last team that had that many good players that went down.
Yeah, like a proper shock to go down. It's always the teams you expect.
like Bournemouth were decent, I suppose. They had likes of Wilson and Fraser, but I think even like the Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison,
yeah, like Richarlison's not going to be in the Championship.
like the England #1 Pickford. I mean, I know he's a bit annoying at that, but like I just think there's too much quality there, and I think it's just the whole thing was toxic under Benítez, and I think any new manager surely will have a better chance of getting more of those players. So
like you're a few points removed from the drop still anyway. It's not like you're going straight into we're fighting for survival.
They're not in relegation now, you know. I think they'll be fine. I mean, Leeds won today, which isn't good for them, I suppose. And there's a few teams that are starting to go well, maybe, but I think they'll be fine regardless who they get in. And I just hope it's Frank Lampard.
Yeah, for your absolute.
In other news, I suppose we had United absolutely cruising against.
This happens all the time
against Aston Villa. No Ronaldo, of course. What was Ronaldo's procedure?
He got injured in training during the week, I think.
Yeah. Some sounds coming out that here we go.
Yeah, here
we go.
Yeah, but no, because I think he was injured. I don't think he was supposed to be fit for this game.
Yeah,
and then Rafa Benítez said he's looking like he might be, and then I think he probably injured himself trying to get fit for the game. Yeah.
But of course, when Ronaldo's not around, Bruno Fernandes comes into his own.
Yeah, he was amazing.
I think we saw this at Arsenal when they had, I think it was Sanchez first, and he was great, and then Ozil, and it's like, two great players.
Yeah,
but they played in the same spaces, I guess.
Yeah,
they're both trying to cut inside or cut into that area, and it just didn't work. And they're doing the same job, and it didn't really flow when they're both on the pitch, and they didn't get the best out of both of them. I think that's a bit the same with Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes. So I don't know what you do with that. You always say, well, get rid of Ronaldo because he's older, but it is Ronaldo.
Yeah, and like he is like. They finished top in their Champions League group because he scored every goal. Yeah,
and this is the whole thing we said at the start of the season, that Ronaldo was obviously never the plan.
Yeah,
it doesn't really fit, and it's as the season goes on, and you see stuff like this where Bruno Fernandes has a great game. It's like, I probably shouldn't get Ronaldo. Probably should let him go to City, to be honest. Sit in their bench like Jack Grealish.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine seeing the way Ronaldo is. I couldn't imagine Pep caring that it's Ronaldo. Like, I think he'd happily bench him now and again.
I think I'd go even a step further, and he'd say he'd want to play on the bench because it's Ronaldo.
yeah.
To mad dog him. Be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But I couldn't imagine him fucking doing the thing of run to the wing, hit it across the box.
Yeah.
He's always gonna be like, no, I kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
And Pep just wouldn't stand for that, I think.
It's crazy, honestly. That way, you look back in that whole he's going to City. That feels to me like a false flag by super agent. What's his name?
Mendes? Is it Jorge Mendes?
Yeah, Jorge Mendes. It's like, apparently City are going to buy him. Well, yeah, City are going to buy him.
It wouldn't be the first, because that's what happened with Sanchez. Exact same thing.
Yeah,
United had no interest in signing Sanchez, and then they were like, we'll give you literally 700 grand a week or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Fred was bought because City were close to buying him as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Jose Mourinho ever really liked Fred.
No.
He's not his type. He's short and he likes big, massive lads. It's totally against the type of players he was signing.
Yeah.
So it's just something they do. Surely this is the one where let's just not care about City.
Yeah, you need to City are living rent free in their heads, seemingly, when it comes to these things. It's really. And look, at the end of the day, they were 2-0 up, and Ronaldo wasn't to blame because he wasn't on the pitch.
Yeah.
The man to blame was big Phil Coutinho.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, Will.
I could. I knew full well that was coming.
I couldn't believe it. Of course he doesn't start because he's going to come on dramatically later on in the second half.
Yeah.
It was like a movie.
Yeah.
The United were up. Now, Aston Villa had chances. That's what I'm saying. It was strange. De Gea had kept in the game for maybe 10 minutes beforehand.
Great game, yeah.
Did you see that? No, he wasn't playing last night. Phil Jones wasn't playing last night, but did you see that that screenshot going around. I think it's from Transfermarkt from 2011. It's the best young players, best 11 under 22 or whatever, and it's De Gea, Varane, and Phil Jones. It's just like Alex Ferguson's dream come true because they're chasing Varane all those years.
It's like fucking 10 years later.
Insane. That's now the United backline. But of course, it was Lindelof playing now, not Phil Jones. I guess he's. Thanks for that, Phil. Cheers, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
What?
I don't know. I'd say he's probably not fit enough to do another game. Like that's a long way off.
He's no Atromitos. I mean, the stamina to go for a whole 90 minutes in the Premier League, amazing.
It's a real quote.
Again, not having a go. We loved it, honestly.
Yeah, no, it was a great quote. I did feel this happens with United a lot.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, where they will play half an hour of the best I've seen them in years.
Yeah.
Like finally, they've turned it around. Go 2 up, and then they just stop dead for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because they got one of the goals from pressing really high. They were pressing a lot.
Yeah.
And they're probably not used to that, so I'd imagine over time they were just bollocks. Because like we haven't been doing this all for years now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They did just stop dead in the second half though. They were awful.
Yeah. They were missing McTominay is the only other thing. Fred played well, but
you can only do so much. Like
Jacob Ramsey, I think he came into the game a lot more in the second. He got man of the match. He wasn't great in the first half, I didn't think.
Yeah.
Second half, he was really good, and he was instrumental in those 2 goals. Coutinho was obviously, he just came on like
he didn't do anything except for his happen.
Immediately came on, was like just like buzzing with the ball. It's like, fuck, I forgot how good he was.
Yeah. There was a moment he took a long shot and I think Ramsey got in his way.
Yeah.
And I think if Ramsey wasn't in his way, it was going to rifle into the top corner.
That was going to be a Coutinho classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played like a 1-2 with Ramsey, and then I think it was maybe Tellez Lindelof who poked it back into the foot of Ramsey. But like, it was Coutinho getting the ball and just running at players and going by them.
It was just good movement.
Damn, he's good.
Yeah.
He's bloody good.
And they have Coutinho as well, who didn't have a great game.
No.
But
hasn't played in a while.
Hasn't played in a while. And also, like, the commentators were saying a lot as well, like, defending's not really his bag. It's when he's going forward. So in the games where you need him crossing and stuff, he will do well. Like,
I think that's why Rafa fell out with them. It's like you can't be left back, you're not a winger, you know.
Yeah.
If you're a winger, you'd be good enough to play winger, but you're not.
Yeah, we're in a relegation scrap, mate.
So yeah, it was. I thought it was insane to see it. And it was just like, again, there was an inevitability of it. It was like he's going to score here. I mean, he's lined up that long range shot.
As soon as he was coming on, I thought, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And seeing like Gerrard patting him on the back, it's like, oh, these two, great, they're back.
So yeah, there was obviously they gave the man of the match to Ramsey, but you talked to Bruno Fernandes after the game, after scoring 2 goals, and he's not happy. Will no. Should we play the clip?
Yeah,
we'll play the clip.
Well, Bruno, lots of good things this evening. Does that make the end result and the Villa comeback even harder to take?
Of course, I think we get the perfect result to be in the perfect position, even to score more goals. To wait to them to make a mistake or something and take the third goal and finish the game. But at the end, we don't get our chances in the counters. We don't do the last pass or the last run or whatever was not perfect, and at the end we give chances to them. They are a good team, they have qualities up front, they have players who can score, and at the end they score and they draw the game. Obviously is a tough one to take because I think the game was under control.
Lastly, how frustrated did you get through the course of that second half? There were a couple of tackles, a couple of flash points with Villa players, and I'm pretty sure I saw you talking to the 4th official as you went down the tunnel at the end as well.
No. At the end of the game, I was just asking the referee why they was making the 4th sub when Bondia was injured on his shoulder. I think he told me that the doctor said that was a problem with his head, and when a doctor said he's a head problem, they have to make a change. But come on, a player come off with his shoulder and they want to give us another sub. This cannot happen. I understand the referee has to follow the rules, and if the doctor says that, he has to make the sub. But was on the only argument. I was just asking why, and that's it.
Fair enough. Thanks for explaining.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, somber Bruno Fernandes, and also just some mild allegations of cheating.
Yeah.
But hey, it doesn't matter. Coutinho's back, baby. What a story! The last number 10.
Their fucking rumours of their demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not great, and I mean look, they're fighting for fourth, I suppose. It's hard to even get a grasp on it because there's so many games in hand, different teams and stuff.
Games in hand, so many games left still, and like.
And people are kind of counting like, oh, they have 5 games to play at which they'll win all of them. It's like we don't know even who they're playing or when.
Yeah, like people are saying that about Burnley, like, oh, they have 5 games in hand. couldn't imagine Burnley getting 15 points. Like,
I think they've won 2 games all season.
Yeah, like those 5 games are going to be squished together in like over 2 weeks probably.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing, and even at the top, it's like it depends. Like when City played Arsenal there the second time, it's a completely different Arsenal they played.
Yeah.
And it was the same players, more or less. It was just, the kind of momentum was with Arsenal. And, I guess City still won, but like say a 5-0 for your goal versus 1 goal. Like it changes the whole kind of perspective of what the fixture is. So
especially in January, where if you get your game postponed, for whatever, there's a good chance you could sign someone who's like a difference maker. And then he's playing in the next game and he wouldn't have been there for the last one.
I forget who was asking that, actually, or who was requesting that any player that wasn't
Southampton, I think.
Southampton were saying any player wasn't registered when the game was originally meant to be played. So anyone who signed in January, that's what they were asked for. I think they asked, again, look, they did this before when they asked all the managers, should we stop the games for Christmas? And they all said yes. And then they had a meeting in the Premier League and said, yeah, we're still playing.
Yeah, you stop the games.
So all the Premier League managers are maybe in favour of no registered players afterwards, but that doesn't mean that mightn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And
like the big teams aren't going to go for that because they're going to be signing players.
Yeah.
And you would imagine good players because they're big teams.
But even if they do go for that, the Premier League will make up their own mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I think the lesson from the Christmas break that didn't happen.
And like, do you think the board owners are going to be like, you're not allowed to use your marquee signing, like your big Instagram signing, you can't play?
Especially if you need the points.
Yeah.
You know? And that's where United are. They're climbing into that 4th spot. I mean, it's West Ham lost again today, didn't they? They lost to Leeds.
David Moyes giving out after the game about saying like the West Ham players are wrecked because of scheduling issues and stuff.
It's all over the place, man.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
It's so hard to follow, even.
But again, it's just because it's the Premier League. I mean, what are they going to do? Like make a case against the Premier League, which they'll never win, and they can never prove that they're just act of God, couldn't do anything about it.
But even now, when you hear managers talking about scheduling,
it
used to be like, yeah, he's dead right. Now it's like, everyone knows, man.
But no, teams are getting screwed though. Like West Ham, like 100%. We don't have cases. Leeds today, they won. They had 9 senior players. What
are the rules?
Now that's injuries and COVID, I think. But I mean, it's just like it's hard to. There's been talk of the integrity of the competition this year.
Yeah.
Where it's like, is this whatever the asterisk for Liverpool's one or whatever? Like this one really feels like this was not a regular season by any stretch. Look, City are still going to win, and maybe more than they usually would. But it's the other positions. It's the 4th spot, like top off for United. Arsenal, Tottenham also in that 4th spot race. That's North London Derby cancelled this weekend. So I don't know.
And that is the big. It seemed like literally that was the turning point. Like up until then, people were like, COVID, blah blah. Like these things happen, and then instantly when it was like, because this is the first big game. It feels like even the Liverpool Arsenal when they got cancelled, it's the League Cup. When it's like the North London Derby, battle for 4th in the Premier League. All of a sudden, then people are like, "Well, hang on now." This and as well, like Arsenal got called off because they had they felt like an outbreak was coming. I think that's what the thinking was behind it. For like they had 1 case and they thought there's probably going to be more.
Well, I don't know again because like Chelsea, before they think they had 7 cases and they requested to get it called off, which had been the rule before.
Yeah.
And the Premier League denied it.
Yeah.
So for Arsenal now to have no cases and get called off, I don't know if that's been changed by the Premier League.
Yeah.
Again, they wouldn't want to cancel games. So there's so much. It's exactly like the pandemic. There's so much information out there. You've no idea what's true, what's reliable sources.
It's like asking someone because you do you think if I asked you now, you could list all of the restrictions currently in place?
No, absolutely not.
No chance.
Absolutely not.
Definitely, this isn't allowed.
We're going to be shadow banned here on the back of this episode by just mentioning it and not knowing what's going on. So it's and what's worse, I suppose, for those teams trying to fight for 4th and battle schedule is that Chelsea look like they've been kicked back down into the 4th spot race as well. They're now 13 points behind City after their 1-0 loss in the Etihad. And I think they played a lot better in the first fixture, which they lost to City. Now they are struggling with fitness issues as well. Jorginho wasn't playing.
Mason Mount wasn't playing.
Mason Mount didn't start, but came on. City were really, really good.
Yeah, they're all over them really.
Probably the best game I've seen Grealish play.
Yeah, For sure.
I guess it probably took half season to kind of fit into not being the main man and playing out the wing and doing stuff. He was very good. Forward was also very good.
Yeah, well, it's that thing of that, like when Pep signs a player, he takes you and turns you into the Pep player. You do the thing all the other players do, and it works really well. But it takes time to learn that, I'd say.
Yeah. Chelsea were missing Reece James as well. Had Sarr playing full back. So I mean, Chelsea were on 100%. City seemed just like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
you know,
unstoppable. To the point where Pep has said that as long as City have a starting 11, they will not postpone any games because it seems like because he's so confident that it's not going to make a difference.
Any of their their senior players are just so good.
Yeah. And that's what Pep's thing is. He's so good at having a strict system. Like you can put anyone in.
Yeah.
Where like imagine at United swapping out like somebody, they wouldn't have a clue all of a sudden.
No, I mean, I know they've obviously spent a lot of money. City have, but they have built a really good squad.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of teams that spend money and a lot of fucking trash.
Yeah.
A lot of garbage on the bench that like either unhappy or probably aren't good enough to be there.
Yeah.
Or they get signed and they go, oh, he's not what I thought he was.
Yeah.
And they just kind of dead wood. See, never seem to have any dead wood.
Yeah, everyone's amazing.
You know, Laporte is like, oh, I wish I was playing a bit more, and he plays and he's top 3 centre backs in the world. It's like, what the fuck is this? You know, that's as unhappy as it gets as well. You know, so it's hard to see them best. Like Chelsea, like I said, they had a very good performance with in their version of a skeleton squad.
Yeah.
It just seems to be going City's way this year. And
I mean, can you see them losing 5 games?
Yeah, 13 points. I think they've lost 3 games so far.
3. I think most. Remember, weren't they all at like the start of the season?
3 games. They lost Tottenham at the start of the season.
That seems like years ago.
That's when Kevin De Bruyne wasn't playing. That's when a few others had COVID.
Harry Kane was big in the news.
Harry Kane wasn't playing for Tottenham that
People
day.
still cared about him.
Yeah. So yeah, to see City lose 5 games that haven't lasted all season, it's over. I don't know for a fact. I'm sure the bookies have paid out already. Or to stop taking bets anyways.
Yeah. I'd imagine it'll be officially over when they beat Liverpool next time they play them.
It's hard to see it's changed now. Is there another international break coming up even?
There's one in March. I don't know if there's one before that. Now the FA Cup and the Champions League are back though soon. So that's when the breaks start kicking in, I imagine.
I can't see City being overturned here. No. I think I went for City at the start by being.
He'll pick City. Chelsea.
Just to not pick Chelsea. Chelsea were the overwhelming favourite at the start. Yeah. I'd be like, I know what City, you know. And I was like, I know what City, but I'm going to say City just to be difficult. And here I am, right again. 2 years in a row for City.
How many times have they won the league in the last 5 years now?
Honestly, Liverpool and Klopp have disguised City's dominance.
Yeah. It's like you fucking Fergie and Wenger, whereas Arsenal and Wenger were unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Fergie was I think it's 2 points overall away from winning the league. 7 years in a row.
And that's the thing, it's like when you look back, kind of a rivalry.
Yeah.
But same with United, where they were the biggest club, they were so dominant. They used to buy likes of Andy Cole from anyone who stuck a head above the fence there, take this best player.
Give him.
Get Newcastle out of here. So then Arsenal come and Wenger came over with his, maybe stop drinking beer and drink this creatine instead.
Stop going to the pub.
This guy's a genius. Le Professor. But it was like the 1798 fighting with pikes versus guns. You know what I mean? How they got any victories at all is kind of
it's amazing.
It's the stuff of legends, really. And this is the kind of modern day version of that of Liverpool.
I mean, Liverpool got 100 points to win the league, didn't they?
Yeah, that's the new level now. Is 90 points.
That's insane.
From City, you got 90 points to beat City.
Remember Liverpool lost the league a few years ago, and I think they got 98 points or something.
They broke the record for most seasons that won it.
Crazy.
So yeah, if it wasn't for Klopp and Liverpool being upstarts,
this would be 6 in a row.
It would be Bayern.
Yeah,
it'd be Bayern with PSG. It'd be just this is fucked.
That's worrying as well because it looks like Salah's going.
Yeah.
I mean, Klopp, I'm nearly sure it's 2024. He's always said once this contract is up, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to replace that. But it's not gonna be tough to replace City. They have so much money and resources, they can just keep this going.
Yeah, well that's the thing, and the Salah thing is obviously in the news recently, and he's kind of come out saying, I'm not asking for that much. And they're like, well, it's a lot for us, and it's kind of going back and forth, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen for Salah at Newcastle money wise.
Yeah.
And look, we've said before as well, it's not even that the money, FSG tight cunts, it's that he wants that money, then Mane, then Van Dijk, then whoever they've signed in. It's like, well, what's the wage structure here? What am I getting?
Also, like, he probably wants that money for a long time. And, like, what age is he? Is he 30, 29 or something?
28, 29?
Yeah, so if you have him a 5-year deal, all well and good, he's banging in goals for 2 seasons on the crazy money. But he's probably going to slow down then. He's still on the crazy money, and then you can't get rid of him, and he's on crazy money.
I wouldn't even worry about that. I think it's if he bangs in goals and you win, and you're paying every crazy money, does it make sense?
Like it's not worth it.
Last season was the first season that City had more revenue than Manchester United. So, like, you can pay all those wages and not make money if you're City.
Yeah.
Chelsea, similarly, I think when they won the Champions League in 2012 was the first season they made a profit.
Yeah.
Most other clubs can't operate that loss unless you're Barcelona.
you do your best.
You can just do what you want, seemingly. But like you can't operate that at that loss forever and ever until like no, it's fine because financially they had a loss, but they had Abramovich's money and they have City have their owners' money as well, so they can afford to pay Kevin De Bruyne crazy money or the whole squad crazy money. And not win, not make a profit. It's like, it's okay, we have the cash.
Yeah.
Liverpool are operating it as a business. So you pay the whole squad loads of money and you can get the Champions League final and lose.
Yeah.
And then you don't make a profit. And then the next season you don't get anywhere near the Champions League final. And you don't win the league. And now it's 2 seasons in a row where you're in the red. 3 seasons, 4 seasons. It just doesn't make financial sense for other teams. And that's, you know, we might say, go away, City and Chelsea are good to watch. This is the whole issue of the financial doping. This is where it comes home to roost.
It's when the big teams are like, I can't possibly.
We're Liverpool, the most successful European club. It's like we can't compete financially.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole the contract thing with Salah is. It's if it starts here, where does it end?
Yeah.
It ends with us fucking having to sell Liverpool.
And as well, it's like, well, either they pay crazy money to keep Salah, or they pay slightly less crazy money to replace him. And like, you can still get someone who can score 20 goals. He might not score 30, but yeah, you could still replace him with a good player.
Like I'm saying, I think Liverpool's move is just keep fucking fighting and just wait for Pep to get bored of City and leave.
Yeah.
I think it is a lot to do with Pep. I mean, City weren't as dominant until Pep came in.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so look, it's tough for Liverpool to have this, like, the greatest players.
The thing we always say.
The greatest teams, like, you don't, like, they've won one.
Yeah.
You know, because City have just been...
And, like, easily the worst one. The one with no fans, and, like, they never got to celebrate it. And...
but that's just unlucky time. I think when Pep leaves, there'll be some... Like, Mourinho was obviously brilliant at Chelsea. I was like, wow, how are you going to top this team, this manager? Yeah. And he left, and there was a few years where it's like, oh, they're not actually as good without like a strong leader. I mean, money isn't everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like a QPR. Like Newcastle, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I don't know. For City, they'll definitely this year. As long as Pep's there, they're so good. So I don't know. I mean,
and you never hear of any trouble in City. Like the squad, you never hear anything come out about the players. You never hear. There's no Lukaku interviews. There's no Martial's not wanting to play. Like.
No, everyone gets their own. I guess they all know what they sign up for almost.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, which is again, I think that comes down to they've obviously spent a lot of money, City have, but they've got a good structure in place there.
It's tough for Grealish to complain about being on the bench when he's probably on the most money he will ever be on in his life.
And he knew.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to City in 2020 or 2021, he knows what the story is like.
You see, like, fucking Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne and all those people, like, I'm good, but they're also very good.
Yeah, like Pep came out to Nathan Redmond, an opposition player, because he's not doing the things he wants him to do. I mean, you know what you're getting into. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's part of it too, but yeah, GG, City have won the league again, and I'm very surprised when I'm proven wrong on that one this stage season will.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be like the story of the century if they fucking bottled it.
Yeah.
You don't see City bottle it ever. Like, no. Champions League, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. That was just a kind of a Pep.
Yeah, it was more him.
Galaxy or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of bottlers, Arsenal Spurs was meant to be on this weekend. That's postponed. Like we're saying, it's hard to even accuse anybody when we don't know what's going on.
There's a lot of that at the moment as well. Of like, no, like it seemed weird that it's all good, everyone else doing it, but as soon as Arsenal did it, people got really mad. Well, do you know what? Which I don't get. Like, why Arsenal?
Do you know what it is? It's like when you know a player's injured.
Yeah.
At the start, like, fuck, he's injured. And then like he plays a bit, and he's injured again. You go, oh, not again. And like the third or fourth time, like, oh, this take the piss now.
Yeah.
Like it's never his fault.
Yeah.
But you get to a breaking point, like, oh no, I'm sick of this now. You need to fucking stop being injured.
That's literally what Neville and Carragher were saying on Sky Sports the other day. Pretty much.
It's hard for us to give out, not hard for Gary Neville.
Yeah.
He does what the fuck he
That's
wants.
his job.
That's literally his job, and he had a go, and he was, I guess, accusing Arsenal of bending the rules to suit them.
Yeah.
And Ian Wright
slammed him.
Ian Wright slams Gary Neville. And again, life comes from you, not at you, Will. And everything we seem to say gets echoed by someone else. And he was like, yeah, just because you don't have Sky Sports Super Sunday, that's your real issue. Yeah. And that is. I mean,
that's exactly
he
what
worked for Sky.
This is the first big game that's postponed.
Yeah, and it's important to the league.
Yeah,
what about derbies? Like
who cares if Burnley Leicester is postponed? Burnley are going to lose anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, but an actual derby that has ramifications for United and other players other teams trying to get first spot.
It's just like the allure of like, oh, the North London derby, like that's the game.
The VTs are making. It's all gone out the window now.
Yeah,
and they'll play it on a Tuesday night now. At some stage.
Yeah.
To make up the time, it's not going to be the same.
Less viewers, less. I
mean, I love having to watch Sky, honestly, but I mean, over the Christmas when the games were on. There's just fucking nothing on Sky.
Yeah.
When the games are postponed, it's like, what is this? I want to watch fucking the cricket.
So you can see why they're like, we have to get this game played. Yeah. We can't let the people realise.
Yeah, and I don't. We might say the darts. I don't care for the darts.
Nah, I like the darts.
I don't hate the darts. Don't like. Oh, I hate people. I don't care for the darts.
Yeah.
So when the Premier League is on, like, oh, there's darts on, I was like, I don't want to watch that. Yeah. I'm not annoyed that's on. I just don't want to watch it. Okay, for anybody darts, people that man, I love darts. You watch darts Christmas. I don't want to watch darts Christmas. I have nothing against darts, but I don't like it.
This is what Neville was saying on Sky Sports
about the darts. Ian Wright stand up. Actually, did you see this clip of Ian Wright?
Which
apparently went viral last year, 2020, in I guess 2 years ago now. Fuck me.
The look of terror in your eyes.
What year is it? You there, boy.
I think we did a bit on that in like June or July. We were like, fuck, it's 2021.
Fucking hell.
Time is slipping through your hand like sand.
Yeah, it has been. But there's this. I saw it again on Instagram, and it's going on TikTok now as well. It's just a clip people have, and they put like inspirational music behind it. But apparently this was last year it went viral. It was Ian Wright. He was doing a show for ITV in 2005, ITV's Real Life, and he's back in the ground,
right?
In the Highbury, I think it is, 2005. And they're introducing him as like, he's still Arsenal's record goal scorer, except for Henri Brook's record ever. And he goes, and now he's going to be visited by a very special guest. And he's like just smiling, looking out onto the stadium. And then this guy comes behind him, and it's like, hello, Ian. It's like a ghost. And Ian Wright turns around and literally like he's seen a ghost, and like he takes his cap off, and it's his old school teacher. Mr. Pigden. Have you seen that?
I have seen that. Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable because he thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
He was a school teacher. You know, I tried to find him, but I guess this is 2005.
Yeah.
Even a Premier League footballer couldn't.
There's no Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah, he didn't have everyone's records on file.
And it's so funny because Ian Wright, like, Ian Wright is like a real large-in-life character. He could be an actor, honestly.
Yeah, very charismatic.
Yeah, so he's like goes and he like breaks down and like just overwhelmed by emotion. But this teacher is like in his 80s. He's like, he fought in World War II. He's like this kind of old British gentleman, like, stiff upper lip, don't show emotion. London's not going to rebuild itself, son. So he like, like breaks down and like hugs him, like, and he's like 3 steps below. He looks like a child, and like he hugs him from below, and your man's like, oh, well. And he starts going, I'm very proud of. Okay, it's a hug we're going for. And he's like, he's pushed him away. He's pushing Ian Wright away. But then it zooms in and like he's holding Ian Wright's hand. It's like from a movie, like it's crazy. And then there's there's a clip of him talking about it on a radio show, like in 2020, because the clip went viral again.
Yeah.
And oh man, I'll chop some up and put it on Instagram because it's an amazing clip and it's so emotional, it's so sad. And I just apparently I missed this last year. I guess I was probably drunk.
He was in the void.
The void of 2020.
Yeah,
the whole fucking year.
Void, yeah.
Well, I guess we just started the podcast.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, we started the podcast and the pubs were closed.
So
the drinking had to take place at home.
Yeah, it had to take all.
It couldn't stop.
It had to take place all the time because it was there. The fridge was there. The bar never closed.
Yeah, so that's why you missed that part of the clip.
But yeah, I'll stick to Instagram. It's a great clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ian Wright standing for Arsenal. I have no idea what's going on with the COVID and the rules.
Did you see Tottenham's statement about it? Speaking of slammed, they were mad.
Yeah, what did Tom say?
I'll read you some of the highlights. So this is Spurs' official statement. We regret to announce that Sunday's North London derby against Arsenal has been postponed. This follows an application from Arsenal to the Premier League on the basis of a combination of COVID, existing and recent injuries, and players on international duty at the Cup of Nations. African Cup of Nations.
What about that?
We are extremely surprised that this application has been approved.
Oh, surprised?
Yeah.
Annoyed?
We ourselves were disqualified from the Conference League after a significant number of COVID cases meant we needed a fixture, and our application to move our Leicester fixture was not approved, only for it to be subsequently postponed when Leicester applied.
Stop it. Stop it. No one cared about your league. And nobody cared about your Conference League. Stop it. Stop it, Chuck.
Oh, stop it.
The original intention of the guidance here was it's a link to the guidance, so they're snapping.
They've brought receipts.
So was to deal with player availability directly affected by COVID cases, resulting in depleted squads that, when taken together with injuries, would result in the club being unable to field a team. We do not believe it was the intent to deal with player availability unrelated to COVID. We may now be seeing the unintended consequences of this rule. So there's a bit more.
You know what, Tottenham? Be kind.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about you be kind and get over it?
Yeah, suck it up, pal.
Yeah. No one cares.
There you go. They were snapping.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable. Like I say, I think it's just confusion over the whole thing. But when you apply 1 week, this whole season, it's one rule, literally one rule 1 week, and then next week it changes. So it'd be very frustrating trying to run a business, trying to run a club this way. And just have the rug pulled out for one day every time you go take a step.
And I do wonder, the fact that they put out a statement, surely the clubs would know the ins and outs. So they were probably they got postponed for that.
Yeah.
There's definitely probably wasn't too much going on.
God knows. And again, we were talking about Leeds. They had loads of injuries, and that didn't come into consideration.
Yeah.
But for Arsenal, it's we have players away on international duty, and
Xhaka got
injuries.
a red card.
Grant Xhaka, he's so again, for Arsenal, it's fine. For Leeds, it's play on.
Yeah.
Play to the pain, boys. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating for everyone involved. But I don't know. I don't know when that game's going to be played. Again, it's probably going to be a fucking Tuesday night. It's going to be a non-event. It's going to be terrible. So. But it counts. The points count. Yeah. That's the issue. This isn't just an exhibition game. This isn't an open day or something. And it has to go ahead at some point.
That's the thing as well with especially Sky Sports and Neville really being that's it. This has to stop now.
Yeah.
Well, no, because loads of teams have already suffered or benefited from it. So if you stop it now, then it's unfair.
Yeah.
Because not everyone has gotten to use it.
Get through this season. Next season, start
back
fresh.
To normal.
Back to normal. Yeah. And we'll just have an asterisk beside these 2 seasons, and we'll all move on.
We'll forget about it.
Well, speaking of moving on our lives, Will, as we know from the last episodes, I've secured the bag and gotten my dream job. Yeah. A dream come true to be director of football at Atromitos FC. Like I say, work from home at the moment. Yeah. Before I just get settled over there. Yeah. George's Parish House was sacked. They came to me and said, "Listen,
they came directly to you."
They got in touch with my people. Their people got in touch with my people.
How was the translations? Were they?
My people are very good. My people are very, very good. Their people got in touch with my people, and they said, "Look, we need you. We're struggling. We need someone who knows about football for one."
We saw what you did for Guztep.
We saw your reporting on Guztep. We've seen your reporting on Atromitos, and like I say, you obviously watch all the games, which is a rare thing. Yeah. A rare thing. If you watch our games, not many people watch the whole thing.
I would say if you Google Atromitos podcast, we might actually be one of the only ones that come up.
It could be. We don't spend a lot of time with the tags or the SEO stuff. Again, laziness and incompetence, combination of factors. But anyways, right, so they said, listen, first order of business, we need a new manager. George's Parish House is sacked. I said, I know that. Yeah. Don't you think I know that?
Shut up, you said. You said, look, listen.
So I got a list of candidates together, and the person I landed on, my number one choice? George's Parish House choice? My number one choice was of course Unai Karaman.
Yeah, of course.
Unavailable.
Yeah.
So my second choice was.
So you went through. How did you whittle them down? What was your thinking?
Experience, knowledge.
Not just people you knew.
No, this is the best men for the job.
Right.
People, fighters, people who are.
And you've seen a lot of this manager.
People who are in it till they die. So listen, it's already been announced, but just for the no nonsense family, I'm happy to announce the new manager of Atromitos FC, Chris Coleman, Wales. Remember that 2016?
Really good at Wales.
He invented Gareth Bale. He then went to Sunderland and he fought his heart out.
We all saw it on Sunderland Till They Die.
Sunderland Till They
Die. He did his best. Who could have done a good job there?
I don't know. No one has since. So Chris Coleman is the manager. Again,
that's real also.
Of course it's real. I thought, language barrier, and you have a good working relationship with this guy. Obviously I speak fluent Turkish, so that's what Unai Karaman was there first. So now Chris Coleman, my third language, English. Hope he doesn't speak too much Welsh. My Welsh is a bit rusty. But you know what? So Chris Coleman is the first signing, and the second signing that I made, centre back, Jan August Erlingmark. A round of applause for Jan. Big Jan.
Take care of him.
Yeah, take care of him, boys. We will. We'll do our best. He came from Gutenberg in the Nordic Countries League.
Which one?
What you don't know. Listen, if you listen to this podcast, you don't know where Gutenberg is. Maybe you need to catch up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I know.
Yeah, definitely.
And so does Will. Where is the Gutenberg press? Is the Gutenberg?
Gutenberg press is. You're talking about the Gutenberg press.
The Gutenberg press. Surely same Gutenbergs.
You mean Steve Gutenberg from Police Academy? He's the main dude. Do you think he's the?
No, the Gutenberg. He made he printed the Bible or something, didn't he?
He invented books, I think.
No, he didn't print books. He invented the printing press.
Yeah, we're just led to the invention of books.
No, well, they used to write books, and this is how he could publish the Bible.
Right.
And this is how they spread Christianity.
Yeah, and this led to...
signing Jan August Erlingmark, the 22-year-old, who plays the same ease as a defensive midfielder and as a central defender, and until recently wore the Gothenburg jersey, a team from which he started his career and scored a total of 130 appearances, scoring 8 goals while winning the Swedish Cup in 2019-20 season.
Swedish Cup.
So exactly the kind of player we need at Atromitos. Yeah. Big, strong, experienced centre-back, young, one for the future.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Does Chris Coleman speak Swedish?
They both speak Welsh.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah.
That's a new requirement at the club.
Look, we and Chris have a plan. I call him Chris.
Yeah.
Because that's his name. Our first game there today, Chris took charge of against Gianna. 1-1. We start off strong. Who else but Koulibaly got the first goal. And then 3 minutes later, Jan August Erlingard was at fault for the second goal. And look, you got to settle in. A different climate over there. Believe me, I will know soon enough. And I'll report back what the climate's like over there. Look, it's a point.
Look, the league's wrapped up.
The league's
it's all about the playoffs.
We're just getting we're getting some signings in now. Yeah. We're going to bed them in. We're getting ready for the relegation playoffs. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Yeah. And the man who knows about relegation and getting relegated, it's Chris Coleman. So all he has to do is do exactly what he did. Do the opposite of what he did at Sunderland, and he'll be fine.
And he has way more chances here than Sunderland.
Oh, he's got 3 chances.
Yeah. Sunderland, they had 1 and they went down.
Yeah, they went straight down.
Yeah, but if they had 3 chances, maybe one of them works out.
Who knows?
Maybe there's a COVID outbreak at the other club.
Yeah, so look, we got a few more stuff in the pipeline. I don't want to say it now in the pod. I want to wait till the end of the window. Just you don't want to affect these things. Like I say, we're getting pretty big. Yeah. With all these people giving us 5-star reviews. Thank you for the 2 more people giving us 5-star reviews on Spotify. Big ups to you.
It's now on the pod. It's official. We are a 5-star podcast.
5-star podcast. 12 views is the limit to call yourself an actual review podcast. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who's done that. I think we have. All our listeners are also all following the Spotify, assuming they're different people. They're not different people. Yeah. So listen, if we're talking to you, you already followed. Thank you very much to follow. Anybody who is listening for the first time, maybe Atromitos fans, maybe Chris Coleman fans,
maybe Chris Coleman himself.
That's in the contract. Yeah. Chris has to follow.
You have to listen 5-star review.
I've made it very clear. I'm not leaving the podcast for anything. That stays. Listen, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a 5-star review on Spotify. Yeah. And we'll bring Atromitos back to the top of the table, I think.
To the top of the table, where we have we ever won the league?
No.
But,
No, well, not since the war.
Which?
2. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, maybe, Will? Or
I'll have a look. Yeah, I don't know if there's any good stories to end up on.
I would look ahead for the next games, maybe. Off the dome. Well, you know what? We'll check the schedule. I think there's games coming up on Tuesday, I think. Is there games Tuesday?
Yeah, there is games Tuesday and Wednesday.
Watford Burnley called off, no?
No. The other Burnley game, I can't remember who. Was it Leicester, I think they were playing? That got called off. But this second one coming up on Tuesday, nothing about it yet. Could very well be called off, but I don't know.
Watford Burnley still on as at the time of recording.
That's a big game if it does happen.
Live on BT Sports. Brighton Chelsea also BT Sports COVID allowing, I guess. I mean, I guess they're all COVID allowing.
All COVID, like Leicester just had a game called off as well. Spurs are probably grand now.
Leicester Spurs then on the Wednesday and Brentford Man United. Those games are coming up. Yeah. I don't know. Like I say, the next probably next Sunday, I'd imagine.
But you have a busy week ahead.
I got a busy week.
A lot of paperwork.
Got a lot of paperwork, a lot of forms, a lot of meet and greets over there.
It's transfer window.
Yeah, and they're going to be off my feet for next week, folks. Hope you can allow me that. It's just set into the new role, new position.
Don't take away those 5-star fees.
Please.
We need them.
Don't judge us on the podcasts that haven't happened. Just judge the ones that have.
Yeah. Not all of them, most of them.
Yeah, well, the good ones. Again, if you can't, forget about it. So yeah, look, we'll be back next week. Next Monday, we'll be back in your ears with some more Zoom quality audio honey.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?